Okay, then we were looking at this question. ये, before making the finishing line, groundsman measures out its 100 meter length और कौन सा इंस्ट्रूमेंट जो है वो उसके लिए appropriate होगा. So when we want to measure 100 meter length, we cannot use a 30 centimeter, we cannot use a meter, we cannot use a micrometer because it's a 100 meter. मीटर रूल जो होता है वो 1 मीटर के लिए होता है. 30 centimeter is 1/3 of a meter. So meter measuring tape is a simple and sensible answer. Next question, and it's very important question and it's very critical to understand. Technical question भी है, इसको आपने अच्छी तरह understand करना है. So when there is no wind, the engines of an airship push it due north. Just bear in mind the directions. This is north, south, east, west. So the aeroplane, the airship is pushed towards this side, and the pushing is this is the speed to the north. So the push gives it a speed 20 meter per second in this side. The wind is blowing from the west, but then there is a wind from west. From the west. Just bear in mind these words, from the west. From the west means it is not going this side, it is coming from this side. So it will be from your left to right. So just these two things in mind should help you to understand the question and answer. Which vector diagram correctly shows how the resultant velocity of the airship is obtained? So we have to draw these two things. First we have this and then we have this. So we have a diagram, we should have a diagram in this direction and then from left to right direction. So let's look at the diagrams. So one in this direction, this, so B is wrong, and this direction and this, so this might be right. Let's look at the other diagrams. So we have this direction and this, so C might also be correct, and then this and then this. So B and D are ruled out. You cannot have B and D. Now, in order to find the resultant of two vectors, you must draw a parallelogram or a rectangle, and then the diagonal that is starting from the joining of the two tails. Okay, the joining of the two tails should give you the resultant. So this resultant is joining from the tails. This resultant is joining, but it is not the diagonal. This is not the diagonal. We have already ruled out B and D, so we will not go for B and D. So from A and C, A seems the correct choice, but you should carefully choose. You should read the question. So you have to do it yourself now. I think A might be the correct choice because the tail of the two vectors is here, and then the resultant vector is also here. So the three vectors, the two vectors and their resultant should have their tails all together in one place. Just keep this thing in mind. It is a very simple question. Which one is not a vector? You should be able to do it. And please ignore the numbers. Just count the questions. Every day you must attempt 10 questions. Just count the questions. Ignore the numbers. ये आगे पीछे हुए हैं. This question, length of copper wire. This is a copper wire. Uniform cross section, several meters long, carries water to a tap. Copper pipe, sorry, wire नहीं pipe. Measurements to determine accurately the volume. Which instruments are used? I think you will be able to answer this question very easily, that which instrument you will use to measure the diameter and then the length to find the volume. Just bear in mind the volume. This is like a cylinder. The volume of the cylinder, then you should know the formula and you should also know everything. But for this question, you don't need all these things. You just need the instruments. So if you want to use a caliper and a micrometer, and if you want to use a micrometer and a rule, and if you want to use a rule and a tape, use a tape and a caliper. So obviously it's several meters long. So you want to look at something that can measure many meters. Obviously, tape will be the good choice. And if you want to measure the diameter of something, which is 2 centimeter, so 2 centimeter is something the vernier caliper might help you. Next question again, which instruments for the length? So this is the length, 0.4 meters. Bear in mind that different measuring instruments are suitable for different measurements. Then you have width, so this is zero point zero 0.08 meters. And then there is thickness, that is 0.005 meter. All the measurements are given in meters. So it's a very clever question. Think about conversion into meters, into centimeters and millimeters. For example, this 0.005, if you want to convert it into millimeters, you want to multiply it with 1000. You want to convert this 0.08 meter into centimeter, you want to multiply it with 100. So this will become like 5 millimeters. This will become like 8 centimeters. And this will be like, if you keep it in meters or if you want to change it in centimeters, then you should know that for a long length, uh, if it is less than a meter, ideally you should use a rule. If it is many meters long, then you should use a tape. So choose sensibly the measuring instrument that will help you to do this measurement. Okay, next question. Pair of quantities, scalar and vector. You should be able to do this question very easily. A reel of copper wire is labeled 30 meter with diameter 2 millimeters. And again, instrument. So we have done this many times now. I will leave this for you to do. Again, vector and scalar, very easy for you. Okay, this one. So a vernier caliper reading is given to this precision. So remember, the vernier caliper can measure 1/100th of centimeter. Okay, so which one of these is 1/100th? This is 1/10th of a centimeter. This is 1,000th of a centimeter. 1,000th of a centimeter, and this one is 1/100th of a centimeter. Okay, so just bear in mind that what you can do. So 1/100th of centimeter means 1/10th of a millimeter because 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. Vector is given by change in displacement divided by change in time. How many vector quantities appear in this? So look at the question. Velocity is a vector. So number one, displacement is a vector. Number two, time is not a vector. So just count it like this and then answer the question. Next question, the level of water in measuring cylinder is this. A stone of volume is lowered into the water, what is the reading? So obviously when the water is 75 centimeters and you put a 20 centimeter stone, what will be the reading of the volume of the water in the measuring cylinder? You can answer this very simply, very easily. Next question, a plumber measures as accurately as possible the length and internal diameter of a straight copper wire. The length and the diameter. We have done this question above. So these are the measurements given. So the instruments, so you should be able to do the answer this question. What is the correct unit of the quantity? Just leave this question for now because we will do this later on. The next question is the diameter and length of a wire is approximately this much are measured as accurately and which instruments are used. I think we have done this question so many times, so you should be able to choose suitable instrument. And quantity is 6.2 milliseconds. In what unit is it measured? Oh, I have already told you the unit. So if you are a bit clever, you will find the answer. The following items are about motion statements. How many vector quantities? So read these, all of these, if there are vector quantities for 1, 2, 3, 4. So which one have a vector quantity? So look at this. East, there is a direction. Plane flies due east for 600 kilometers. There is a direction mentioned. Average speed, and then is told average speed is this much. The snail crawls in a straight line towards. So there is a direction, but you don't know which direction. Where is the letters? and a tourist travels 500 on a journey. So, but there is direction in 1 and 3. It looks like 1 and 3 has the direction. Power is measured in watts. So just ignore this question. We haven't studied this. Which list contains scalar quantities? You should be able to answer this question. This is the reading you need to know. So, what is the zero error? Zero error means that this zero of the main scale and this zero of the vernier scale are not above each other. So, we have a zero error. So, now let's look at how much points is this scale right to this scale. So, we can see that this is the main scale, which is given like here, and this is the vernier scale. So we can clearly see that it has passed 1 point. So it has passed already 1 point. And then which line is perfectly joining? So I see, look at this line. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Fourth line is perfectly joining. Fourth line of the vernier scale is perfectly joining the fourth line of the main scale. So 4 multiply its least count, which is 0.01. 4 multiply 0.01 gives you something that will be the zero error. Which instrument is most easily used to measure the internal diameter of a pipe? You know this very well now. Which statement about scalars and vectors is correct? You should be able to do this question very easily. Vernier calipers read to 1/10 of a millimeter. Which reading shows this precision? So 1/10 of a millimeter will be 1/100th of centimeter. So choose and something that gives you 1/100th of a centimeter. Which list contains only vector quantities? You should be able to do this question, and we need to have the reading. So we have 5. I think we have done this question. So we have 6 passed and 6.5. 6.5 already gone. And then we have number 10, 11, 12, 13. Number 13 is matching. So we have 6.5 plus 13 multiply least count, which is 0.05. And that gives you the reading of the micrometer. This is a repeat question. It has appeared before, so you should do the same one. Okay, this is the reading we have to tell. So we have 0 has passed the main scale, and we have 5, 10. So we have 1, 2. So this is a 5 meters. So this is a 4 millimeters, and this is 3. So it has already crossed the 3 millimeter sign. So 3 millimeters, and then 3 millimeters is the main reading. And then we have number 5 perfectly joining. So we will multiply 5 with 0.01 plus 3. So something like this will give you the reading width of the block. Let's see how you do, and then we will correct you if you are wrong. Which of the following correctly lists one scalar and one vector quantity? We should be able to do this question. Okay, so this one, you want to measure this length, it is 0.5 meters, and it is something like a bend. So think of all the instruments that can help you doing this measurement. This one, so again, we have something starting from 6, going all the way here, 6.5. 6.5 has gone, and then starts the reading of the vernier scale. So we will look at the perfect match, which is at this one. This is point, this is 5. So multiply this with the least count, add it to the main scale reading, and you should be able to find the reading which is correct. Okay. So we have to find the diameter using this. So again, starting point and ending point and the distance in between. So that will give you the diameter. You have done this many times with me in class. So let's see how you do now. Number 50, power is equal to 4. So whichever quantity you think is a vector quantity, just count it and then give it here. So here, which instrument is used? You know this very well now. And correct statement about force and velocity. You should know that the force and velocity are something special than other things. So you should be able to answer this question. This one is again, I will leave it to you who have done practice many times about these type of questions. So student has been asked again using of the instruments. Okay. I think that's the last question. Again, this is the same question. You should be able to do this question. And same here, you should be able to do these questions. Okay. Vectors easily, sorry, scalars, you can do this easily. So this question needs a little bit attention. So one oscillation means going from here, coming back here. Okay. Hopefully you can use this to complete that how the student measures the average. So in order to find the average, first you count the number of oscillations, then you divide it with the number of oscillations. The time for number of oscillations divided by the number of oscillations should give you average of 1. Okay, that's it for now and thank you. Now, instructions are that you should complete all these on the booklets provided by us school, and then I will give you feedback about the questions, and I will show you the solved booklet through the same video. So you will be matching your answers and doing the total marks on the booklet. And then that should be enough. Thank you.